I lost the chance. Can you hear me?
We're back!
There you are.
Week 12! Look at the cats who's in the background. You can hear him right now.
I'm finally on. I think I'm...
Bells coming for you guys this week. How's it going there, Jeffrey? How's fancy treating you and the league this week?
Everything's good. Due to popular request, I'm finally on the show. I think I'm one of the last GMs to get on the show, so here I am. And no, it's a bummer of a week for me. I mean, I put up the second most points, lost to Jake and Allison, who just popped off. So now I'm in second place, but it's not a big deal. I'm in a good spot, gearing up for the playoffs, and ready for these last 2 weeks.
Oh, let's get into these. Last week, week 12 in the books before we get into week 13 and beyond. Social Propaganda pulling it off against Big Ol' Titties, who decided to play Aaron Jones. Must have been sleeping there. Not sure what happened with Teddy, but Social Propaganda takes it 113-91, moves to 8-4, third place. Big Ol' Titty slides back farther, stays to 10th place, 4-8 on the season. Not Big Ol' Titty season. Who would you rather start this week? Zach Charbonnet or Austin Eckler?
Zach Charbonnet or Austin Eckler? I mean,
Who would you
I think
rather start?
Kenny Walker might be back, right? That's up in the air, but I think you still got to ride with Eckler. I mean, I know he hasn't been right, but he's been so good for the last few years, and the Chargers aren't stupid. They know that they got to get that guy going.
Well, so I agree with you. Usually Eckler, but Eckler has had crazy underproduction this season. He's like 28th in yards from scrimmage, and that's like accounting for like his games that he's missed. He has no speed on his fastball. They showed him getting chased down by a defensive lineman the other day.
Well, he's tiny, right? Isn't he really, really small?
Now, it seems like this injury, this ankle injury or whatever he had, is taking a little pace off of his speed.
Well, you know what? Looking at Teddy's lineup, he was kind of doomed. I know there's some hoopla about starting Aaron Jones. I mean, even if he started the other guys, I don't think it really would have mattered. But Gus Edwards has been really good, and
I had a down week.
Him.
Take a look at my lineup. The only person who put up points was Josh Allen.
Yeah, you had a down week. I mean,
113
is fine. You could win games like with 113. It certainly could be worse. And it also kind of bodes well for you. I mean, if you win on a down week, I got a good feeling that you're probably going to pop off this week just because that's how fantasy works. You have a down week, you're going to have a positive week. But yeah, what's going on with you? Yeah, Tua didn't have a good week. Brees, Charbonnet, CeeDee, Ayuk. Yeah, Josh Allen, holy smokes. He put on a show. I know he's getting ripped for losing that game, but the dude had it. I mean, he really played well.
Gabe Davis on my bench putting up almost 20 points.
Gabe Davis. Yeah, you know how it goes with Gabe Davis. I mean, you start him this week, he's putting up 2 points. So, but no, you did what you got to do. Yeah, Teddy couldn't really do anything else. Kind of a tough year for Teddy. He gave his brother-in-law, his first win, and here he is at 4-8. And Teddy is definitely one of the better owners in the league, and you can't be good every year. So, just a down year for Teddy. I'm sure he'll be back better than ever next year.
Next matchup, we got multiple scoregasms beating off the sharp fingers, beating off the sharp fingers. Getting his second win of the year, Lucas, 112-104. Sharp fingers slides back to the 8th place. They're now 5-7 on the season. Falling apart here for Sharp Fingers as the season goes on, when he was at one time projected to be to be first in this projected initial projection standings.
Yeah, Sharp Fingers is in trouble here. We'll talk about his matchup coming up. He's got some issues there. But this is kind of what happens when you start so many players on one team. I mean, you start a bunch of lines, and you're going to live and die by them. I mean, they score 40 points. With Goff, Gibbs, and Monty, he's going to be in good shape. They don't put up points. You're going to be in trouble. So kind of a double-edged sword there. Tank Dell, heads off for Austin. I mean, he was on Austin's team before I even really heard of the guy. Definitely a down week for Austin. I mean, he still put up 104. It's not horrible, but it definitely seems like Austin is fading a little bit.
It's his quarterback letting him down again, Will Levis.
Cooper's pretty. I mean, you can't really play Cooper anymore. So Austin's in some trouble here. We'll see what happens this week.
Scoregasm's getting their second win, big on them. Just putting up a nice cozy 112. Was Trevor Lawrence having a good week? Chuba, Debo having some good showing, and Gardner Minshew just being a streamable quarterback.
3-4 weeks ago, I was really down on Trevor Lawrence, and he's playing really, really well. So that's good for Lucas that he's got going. But Chuba Hubbard is solid. He's okay. Put up 17 points. Tajay Spears. It's crazy that he's running Hubbard and Tajay Spears, and he's won 2 games in a row. So hats off to Lucas for doing that. Trey McBride solid. Bad game for DK. Debo is Debo. We all know him, and a solid week for Lucas. He's got a little bit more healthy. Gardner was a nice pickup. He keeps sitting Brandon Cooks, who I believe is popping, right? James, can you go ahead and click his stat sheet there, Brandon Cooks?
Hold on 1 second there.
Brandon Cooks, I believe, has been popping, and he's got A-Chain coming back this week. So Lucas is getting better. That is for sure.
He might not finish last right now. His standings are 2-10. Jamaican Shamans only 3-9, and they just lost Jonathan Taylor and have no fab in which to get him.
Yes,
get his replacement.
Yep, Shamans are in trouble. We'll talk about that when we get there.
One word of we got Sharp Fingers though is going to get Jefferson back. We'll talk more about that later.
Yeah, did you click Cooks? I'm sorry, I didn't see that.
Cooks, James Cook.
Brandon Cooks.
I did I clicked Cooks. He's been hit or miss. I mean, 27 week 10, but then 6 points week 11. So
yeah, he's been boomer bust, but it's not too bad lately.
Yeah, he's kind of like Gabe Davis in that way, boom or bust.
Yes, sir.
Moving on to the next matchup. It was My Name's Bruce versus Best Physique of the Week. One of the matchups of the week, it seemed. Bruce is playing for his playoff life, and he still has it, well, at least on points 4. Loses this week to Zeke, 122 to 135, falls to 6-6 in 7th place. Physique moves to 1st place after Power Walkers falters 10-2. Is Best Physique of the Week. Things just keep going right for Zeke, who not only has had lucky schedules, but this week had a huge production.
Yeah, nice week for Zeke. It's very interesting. He has no depth at all on his team, and yet I know this week he has some bye week issues, but he just keeps finding ways to win. He's definitely has a little bit of luck on his side, but you know what? All in all, I think he's got a good team. I mean, when you got Kelsey Hill, Evans, Kamara,
I
Stroud,
call him Cerebus, a 3-headed monster.
He's got a really good team. Yeah, and he's crazy. He hasn't gotten hit by the injury bug. I mean, he's 1 or 2 injuries away from.
Well, how much longer can CJ Stroud play out of his fucking gourd? 30 points, 41 points, 20. He's got QB1 weeks. It's absolute madness.
No, he's got a good team. Stroud is a great quarterback. Zeke has a good team.
And we're
he just got to stay healthy.
I mean,
and Madison's probably the weak link to his team. But you know what? He's solid enough all around where he's definitely going to be dangerous going forward. Mm-hmm. And then you got Bruce. Bruce 122. I mean, that's a solid number.
Great number.
He definitely needs a little bit more from Fields and Lamar, and that kind of let him down.
Bruce has definitely been coming on. His points 4, he's been having good points 4 weeks, him and Jack. Meanwhile, I think Austin's points 4 has kind of been weakening, and that's the one major concern there for all 3 of those teams. Fibonacci is another one of those teams that could falter here, but via record, and maybe even just miss the playoffs if maybe Austin or somebody else gets a little hot here. I think he's at risk too. Those are the 4 teams at risk.
Yeah, we'll talk about Bruce, what's going on with him this week coming on up. But yeah, then you got guys like Saquon. You expect more from Saquon.
Nico with great week for Nico Collins.
Nico, great week. Let's look at his bench. It looks like he started the right guys. Going in, I was like, man, I think you got to start Jalen Warren. But I'm like, I don't think you sit Saquon, Pacheco, or Swift. So he made the right call there. But no, solid week for Bruce. It's unfortunate. A little bit of bad luck to go against Zeke. Oh, Jake's here. Hello, buddy.
Ooh. What's up, guys?
Ooh, got a surprise guest going on. What's up, Jake? Welcome to the podcast.
I did want to tune in, especially, luckily, I arrived at the perfect moment.
You did. We're about to do your matchup next.
Oh, no. I was going to say, for Zeke, I definitely think there's not an asterisk on his season or anything, but there's no denying that he's been incredibly lucky with his matchups. And I knew this week that Bruce would put up 120 plus. I knew Zeke needed a week like this. And for the first time, I'm kind of feeling like Zeke might not be a fraud team. I said it.
No, Zeke's for sure not a fraud team. I mean, he's got very lucky. I mean, you give James Rai his schedule, I'm sure we go undefeated.
Zeke's the
I
third
mean,
highest points for in the league.
yeah, he's got the third highest
but
point
he
score in
is
the league.
also
he's doing good. He's been
simultaneously
consistency.
the luckiest player in the league because of the points
Yes.
against him has been so
Right.
low typically.
Yes.
Danke has been the
And
next
he's been
luckiest.
lucky with the injury bug as well. Like he's been really, really healthy. And it's crazy that he's maintained that, especially because Kelsey, Tyreek, Evans have all been banged up. They've all had the cues, but they've been playing.
I got a crazy stat for you. I mean, Zeke has literally 101 more points than Danke Punch. 101 more points, but Danke and Danke has 101 less. So it's interesting to see that Danke has less wins. Zeke definitely getting the bounce of the luck, but also he's got a good squad.
Got a great team. But this is the week in my head that you never know how fantasy players are going to do over the long term. Of course,
and I know
in
Zeke
hindsight,
said,
you can see the stats, but like, is his team good? This for me, I knew this week Bruce was gonna not be an easy opponent, and he wasn't. And Zeke's team stepped it up. So
well, another fraud has seemingly secured the playoffs in Danke Punch. I mean, he's been the fraud label.
He's been very lucky. Even Tommy's been lucky. Yeah, both of those guys have been lucky.
So I mean, like, it's interesting to see some of the teams that we thought might be a little more.
Here it comes.
But boom, there it is. All right, let's move into the next week's matchup. It was, I'm sorry, not next week's matchup. We're talking about this week's last matchup. Power Walkers losing just narrowly to the high score of the week, Union Peer Machines.
Yep. 8 points wouldn't be that much.
148 to 140. Oh man, big difference. Big win for Union Peer Machines. Move on to 6-6 and in sixth place. Kind of creepy. Power Walkers 9-3 and falter down to second place. What do you feel like the difference was here? I mean, if Machines plays 49ers like he maybe should have, he wins even more dominantly. I don't see that coming from
yours,
Rashid.
Jack. You're the winner here.
I want to say Jeff's team, incredible. Glad we eked out the win. Of course, if Joe Mixon sat on the bench and Jeff put in Najee, he would have won with my current matchup, but no fantasy player in the world would ever do that. So
exactly.
I think he did a good job.
Yep.
And I kind of got lucky. Kyron put it up a monster game. All my guys did great. I mean, like even Devin Singletary putting up 10. I mean, come on.
I know.
It's Devin Singletary. He's like 46.
Before this week started, I was like, damn, I know Jack's going to put up a ton of points. But I told Jack, we were texting, I was like, man, I think I'm going to put up a ton of points too. So we'll just see. We'll just see what happens here. I'm not really too upset. I was obviously I want the first place. Second, you know what? I think I'm in a good spot. I'm last 2, 3, 4 weeks here, I've been putting up tons of points consistently, and I feel like I'm ready to go in the playoffs. We still have 2 weeks left here. So I'm not going to beat myself up over this loss. And like Jack said, I mean, of course you're going to sit Najee. But no, I think I'm in a good spot. I'm really, really excited where I'm at. And I've been through some shit, like losing Anthony Richardson, finding Baker, and then DJ Moore, Devontae, Puka kind of dried up, and then I got lucky with Mixon and Rashad playing well, and then Mahomes finally playing well now. So I kind of feel like I'm at this crossing point where I'm going to have my quarterbacks playing well, my running backs playing well, my pass catchers playing well. So I like where I'm at going into the playoffs here. So not too upset losing this.
Can you talk to us about the trust you have in TJ Hawkinson? Because we were cheesing you about that, but can you talk a little bit more about Hawkinson?
Dude, TJ Hawkinson, if you exclude the quarterbacks, has the 16th most points scored out of tight ends, running backs.
He's wide receiver 11, TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah, like
I
He's a
said
good
that in the
player.
thing. He's wide receiver 11. He's tight end 1, wide receiver 11 in our league.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know what else to say. And like tight ends, I know they get a bad rap, but this is why I traded for the guy.
Well,
I mean,
Dobbs throws to
Hawkinson
him.
gets tons of targets, and he's a good player. And there's a lot more viable tight ends now, like that. I feel like that you're going to start
Mhm.
seeing people play. But no, I like Hawkinson. He gets a ton of targets. Funny enough, I was really close to I was thinking about dropping him for Kincaid when Kirk went down. I'm like, no, I gotta keep him, and then got lucky with Dobbs. I hope Dobbs keeps playing. I think Vikings would be very knee-jerky reaction there to move on from Dobbs. But no, I'm like I said, I feel good. I've been worried about Mostert. I'm waiting for that to fall off. He's still producing. So no, like I said, I feel like I'm in a good spot. So lost to Jack. Zeke took first place, but I'm really not too upset about it. It's fine.
Cool beans.
I got another
Yeah.
question for I got a question about Jack's team specifically before we move on to the next matchup. But Dak Prescott looking like earlier in the season for Jack. I mean, he looked like a QB3, a QB2, 6 points, 19 points, 14, 14, 4.
30 plus
I had Pollard. Pollard too was bad.
And then all of a sudden, week 6, something
Yep.
clicked. 24 points. Bye week. 28, 28, 37, 16, 32.
37.
Right now,
Jesus.
Dak is sitting at QB3 on the year. And I know early in the season, you were a little sad that you picked Dak and that you had to settle for him to be your QB1, but he's morphed into him. You had a Pokemon evolve.
Dude, he evolved from Squirtle to Wartortle into Blastoise. I don't even know. I think it's surprising to everybody. I mean, even I was kind of pooping on him in the beginning of the season, but I mean, you can't argue when a guy puts up 28, 37, 30, 32 like 4 straight weeks. I mean, and then
Can Dallas win the Super Bowl?
I don't know if Dak's good enough, but like the defense, I don't know. He just seems so confident, and that they're trying to get Pollard into the game because they feel bad for him because all the wide receivers are scoring touchdowns, and it's like, I mean, Dak had the 1 week that Dak had 37. Can you look at the Pollard? I think he had like 5, and Dallas played great. They just never. They were up by like 24, and they just told Dak, they said, dude, just keep throwing it. Like, just keep throwing it. And they just kept slinging it. It was crazy.
Dude, you know what's crazy too about this matchup is like McManus missed a kick. So that's minus a point, and I think it was a 40-yarder. Baker on that last drive threw a pick. Could have been a couple more points. Rashad could have got a couple more points there. Patrick Mahomes got the ball on the 15 with like 5 minutes left. They kicked a field goal, and I'm like, oh my God, like I could have, but I mean,
Yeah.
oh well.
That's fantasy football. Has Mahomes been underperforming?
All right, guys, we got to move to this next. We got to move to this next matchup.
20 points.
Oh yeah, move on.
Yeah, you're right.
All right.
But
Goon
yeah,
Squad versus Jamaican Shamans. 135-96. We'll go quickly on this one. This is more of a last place matchup. 4th and 8. Uncle Jay gets a big win to move to this is a battle of the 3 and 8 teams. And boom, Goon Squad knocks Jamaican Shamans out. Also knocks Jonathan Taylor out after he puts up 21 points. Not much these teams could do, but the Goon Squad is still sneakily in the points for running.
Mm-hmm. Jordan Love looks great.
Where do you guys think he gets drafted next year?
Not top 10.
I don't know. I'm sure he'll be rated high, but I don't want any piece of that.
All right,
Maybe like QB8.
QB8, QB13, QB14, QB12. What is he right now? Let's see. Right now, he's QB10, boys and girls.
Uncle Jay's kind of, it's funny. I feel like he's tied to Calvin Ridley. Like when Calvin Ridley plays well, he probably wins. When Calvin plays bad, he probably loses. Jaden Reed, what an incredible start. Jerome Ford's been good for him. Tommy DeVito with 10 points.
Zay Flowers finally goes off, but he's on Uncle Jay's bench this week.
Yeah, and Garrett Wilson too. I mean, he's sitting Garrett Wilson. So Uncle Jay's got some guys. Quarterback play's been a little trouble for him, and starting Calvin Ridley. But no, Uncle Jay's got a solid team, that's for sure.
Shaman's depending on Desmond Ritter, and they just lost Jonathan Taylor, but they have no fab money.
Oh man, I mean, the Shamans. Sorry, Ryan. I love you, man, but you might be in the running you might replace Lucas for worst team in the league.
Worst
I mean,
place.
losing Jonathan Taylor.
There's first place, and then there's worst place.
He might be the worst. So yeah, there's really not much to say about his team. It's just
Cooper
not
Cup.
look.
I mean, how much worse is his team on paper without Jonathan Taylor? Because
Cooper
he's
Cup,
projected. I'm looking here.
3.3.
Oh, he's in
But
trouble.
he's projected 114 and he got 96. That's not like garbage can territory, but like, okay, so who do we slot in, and then how much is he projected? 110.
Oh, he's in trouble next week because he has Roshan. Roshan's on a bye. He has no Royce Freeman.
Does Roshan even stay the number one? Khalil Herbert's back, guys. He just didn't play all that much.
They like Roshan. They like
they do.
Roshan Johnson. So
That's
and
true.
they also like
trouble.
Deontay Foreman. So it's hard to own a Bears running back. But yeah.
True.
But sorry, Ryan, you won the league last year. You're a great owner, just not your year.
Damn, if he gets first to worst, that would be nuts. Moving on to the next match, Fibonacci sequence versus Team Danky Punch. Fibonacci just loses out by about 18 points or so. I don't know, math, but 14. 7-5, they slide to 5th. Team Danky Punch gets a huge win, moves on to 8-4. They had the same records going into this one. Who would you guys rather have started this week? James Conner or Ramondre Stevenson?
Ramondre, he was
Conner.
playing the Giants.
Yeah, that was the correct answer this week. Ramondre dominated the Giants, 19.2 points. James Conner, quiet day, 5.2. But didn't matter for Danky Punch because Josh Jacobs put up 20. Amon-Ra does his usual 14 points a week. And then the Broncos defense puts up 18. And then Jalen Hurts, after the third quarter, puts up like 28 points in the fourth quarter.
He's been doing that.
And finishes with 34 points on the game. Going into that, like the first three quarters, Jalen Hurts had like 7 points.
Oh, Danny was getting his butt kicked like during the noon games. Like Tommy had a good start, Danny didn't have a good start, and then Herbert played poorly. I mean, it just the later games and especially the Monday night with Dobbs just did not go well for Tommy. So, and then it kind of went the opposite way for Danny. You know, the early games were bad, later games went really, really well for Danny. Jalen Hurts has been a savior. Obviously, Josh Jacobs and Amon-Ra are really, really good. I'm not a big Taysom fan, but he got him 7 points, and Danny squeezed it out. So that's a huge win for Danny, and it was a fun matchup, though.
What happened to Adam Thielen? 0.7. Justin Herbert, also a quiet week, but 0.7 against Tennessee, and they don't have a really good pass defense. That hurt Fibonacci majorly.
Bryce Young looks horrible. Like that whole
out.
team is just dumpster fire.
It's so bad. Jacksonville Bryce Young? No, that's... Oh, yeah, Carolina. Carolina is Bryce Young. Yeah, that's right. Dumpster fire.
Thielen only had 3 targets on the game, by the way, for the 1 catch.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think you could start Thielen going forward. Like I mean, Tommy has Kirk, Allen, and Sutton. I think you're probably rocking those guys.
All right, guys. I'm going to move into the news and notes sections of this week. We always cover a little bit about what Adam Schefter, talks about. Maybe there's a little magic. Maybe there's a little something in there for everybody, usually. And I'll just take a quick peek. Shaq Leonard, let go, possibly visiting the Eagles. Oh my gosh. If the Eagles pick up a broken Shaq Leonard, that could be definitely helpful in their playoff run.
Oh yeah, Eagles, Dallas, wherever he goes. I mean, that's a huge boost.
Patriots re-sign a backup QB. Meh. Cardinals released Keontae Ingram and Ben Still, but Keontae was a somewhat useful fantasy asset in the middle of the season, but he's gone now.
Michael Carter got like a third of the snaps there, the old Jets running back, so that's what that's about.
Justin Jefferson activated. That's going to be huge news for Austin, but he won't be available till week 14. Which means it'll be all on the line for Austin then.
I think that's Jack's week against Austin, right?
Yes, Jack.
I'm sorry, I went to go grab a drink. What were you guys saying?
No, so next week Justin Jefferson comes back against you. And
Oh yeah.
so
I'm
Austin
ready.
might be getting that.
I'm ready. That's not about record for me anymore. I just want to score 150 every week. So far, the fantasy gods have heard me, and they're like, "All right, we're gonna make your team amazing."
Aaron Rodgers speculating that saying that he's targeting a week 16 return potentially, but kind of depending on a few other things besides just his health. Also needs the Jets to kind of be in it. Kind of needs to make it worth it. Tells that to the
we
Pat
need
McAfee
Austin
show.
to get in that, right? Or no, wait, never mind.
No, Aaron Rodgers is done. There's no way the Jets will be in the hunt. Just no way.
No.
Tim Boyle.
Dude, oh yeah, I mean that's awful. The Panthers owner is just a meddling guy, and he's looking for a coach, someone to be here 20, 30 years. He's had 6 different coaches in 6 years. And his best coach was the guy, Steve Wilkes, the interim guy that he canned last year. Could have gave him a full year this year. Decides to give that to Reich, fires him 12 games in. And yesterday, it kind of looked like, if Flus lost that game, that his ad was on the chopping block. It went from chopping block to solidarity. What do you guys think about Flus and the Bears?
I don't know. I'm not a Bears fan.
What are you, a Lions fan?
It was a sad win. It was a sad win. I mean, I kind of wish they lost because I want these guys fired, and I want the, this coaching staff's not good. I mean, Luke Getsy was throwing a million screens. I mean, it was just unbelievable. Like, I was talking to some of my high school boys that play football, and even they were like, what was that? I mean, it was just bizarre.
And the fourth down calls, like he goes for on 4th and 10, gets it. Then 4th and 3, right by the touchdown area in the cash money zone, they wimp out, go for the field goal.
Yeah, it's just like, I want, let's let Fields rip it. We need to figure out if this guy can play. I don't know. Caleb Williams, Drake May are kind of playing poorly. Like, we really need to let Justin Fields just throw the ball, let him rip it, and see what we have. Because I'm starting to think this coaching staff is really inept. And Justin Fields might be okay, but the fact that he's played 30-plus games and we still don't know is still damning to Justin Fields. So,
Fire Getsy.
I don't know.
Vikings going to be evaluating their Dobbs and you potentially looking at their other options. Jaron Hall after the 4 picks thrown to the Bears.
Yeah, he threw 4 picks, but wait, going back to Justin Fields, I feel like when I watch Justin Fields film or games, I do not get that feeling that I get when you see like a Tom Brady or even like a Lamar Jackson where they're super decisive in the pocket. And that makes me think that the coaches aren't giving him enough freedom or telling him the right things, like Jeff said. So
good call
like,
about the freedom.
When you see a quarterback
agreed.
in the pocket and you don't want him to do good, or he's on the team that you don't like, whatever, and you're like, oh my god, he looks so dangerous right now. I never get that feeling from Justin Fields unless they give him like some designed run play and there's a huge hole.
And that seems few and far between. This last game, they threw. It was like they're throwing to the left or the right.
He needs to give. They need
pass.
to give him the reins and like let him dominate the game if he can.
Absolutely.
All right, Dobbs threw 4 picks.
Dobbs threw 4 picks. Is he getting replaced? Is it time that DOC looks Kevin O'Connell looks somewhere else, or I think he sticks with them for another week.
Oh my God, yeah, for Jaron Hall or Nick Mullins, he'd be crazy.
I understand he's got to talk about it, but
I mean, this would be a knee-jerk. Yes, he played horrible. They looked bad. But, I mean, this would be a knee-jerk reaction. You traded for the guy. Dobbs has looked pretty good. He's going to give them their best option. You know what's crazy is Dobbs didn't run the ball. What were they doing?
They didn't run him out.
So, no.
They were doing the same thing as the Bears.
Yeah, they did a couple naked boots, and he did well there. But I just don't think the play calling was good. And, obviously, Dobbs wasn't good as well. So
Jonathan
they'd be
Taylor.
crazy not to play him.
Sorry.
And Bears defense was jumping routes a lot. And
Oh, they were good.
they
Yeah.
were playing aggressive, which maybe it's a part of that like don't give a fuck mentality. But
Bears D, great point, Jack.
4th and
Bears D
10.
looked really good.
Teams
4th and
that
10, they're just sending it
started Kyron Williams.
midfield.
I'm sorry. Teams that started Kyron Williams had a 79% win rate in Week 12. He was benched in 22% fantasy genius leagues in his first week back from injury. Jack, did you play Kyron?
Yeah, I think he won me the game.
It was the game changer for sure. It was definitely the X factor. Even if he puts up 20, I think I still win.
Yeah, if he puts up 27, you still win.
Yep.
Damn.
Crazy.
All right, let's get into next week's matchups here, guys. Week 13, we'll start with best physique of the week from taking on Social Propaganda. Current projections 104 to 117. Social Propaganda projected to take it. Is that how it's going to break down? Propaganda did defeat best physique of the week in week 2 to give him what is one of 2 losses on the season.
Zeke has a kicker out, so like let's say he could stream a kicker. Oh no, will he be able to?
No,
will he be willing?
He's
Yeah, he
Kyler.
can.
He dropped Russell.
Yeah, he can.
Oh, he can move roster. Okay, so let's give him like 7 extra points.
Good
So
call.
111 to 115. James, I think you take this not because you're projected more. I think your team is just it's got that consistency punch TM in it. You're consistently good. I would hate to play you in the playoffs. I would hate it.
Zeke's
Well,
average is 125. Mine average is 114 for next week. An interesting little side note.
Zeke's got 2 quarterbacks. James has 1, but you're also playing like you got some nice matchups.
I'm
going
down
in,
QB1.
James.
It's true.
Zeke's got to play Jeff Wilson Jr., who was good, but I mean, a Chain and Mostert are going to be getting the rock, so I think Wilson might be the Achilles heel here for Zeke. But no, dude, this is what Zeke's been doing. It's crazy, he doesn't have very good depth, but somehow he plug a Cole Kmet in there and he gets 2 touchdowns. So I mean, Jeff Wilson's probably going to pop for 2 touchdowns, and he's going to beat James. That's just kind of how it's going for Zeke this year, but that's fine because it's the regular season, and as we all know, the number 1 seed. What is it, James? Has only won the trophy once.
Damn, yeah.
Right?
It is rare, but you do get that nice bye. I mean, just to get that 1 bye is just so huge to up your odds. Because then you go to 1-4. 1-4 chances to win it all.
But James, you had a down week. Zeke had an up week, and you know how it kind of goes. So I feel like I feel like you will go up, Zeke will go down a little bit. But I hope you win, James, because obviously I would like that number 1 seed. But no, it's going to be a high scoring match. Both you guys have good teams. Like I said, I think Jeff Wilson is the X factor in this matchup.
Jack?
I feel like this matchup is like Goku versus Vegeta, and both you guys are just gonna be flying around killing each other in the air, and it'll probably end up somewhere in like the 132 to 137 range. I don't know who's gonna win. I think it'll probably be you, James, but Zeke can pull off some stuff with Stroud just consistently dropping 30 points, and then like he's got Kelsey Hill, Evans. Those people are all liable to drop 20 to 30 points at the same time sometimes. So it could be a tough one.
Yeah, Zeke's got some tough matchups too. Kyler's playing Pittsburgh. Amara's playing Detroit. So, but who knows? Like I said, this is what Zeke's been doing. So it's going to be a good match, but not the most important match because both you guys are in. Just
I'm coming for you,
proceeding,
Zeke.
so
I'm coming for
not the most important match of the week for sure.
Definitely, but a big slugfest for sure. Definitely a big slugfest. I think that's like Jack said, it's going to be epic proportions. You got Vegeta and Goku taking on each other. Next matchup, they got playoff implications here, but Sharp Fingers is up against the wall. They are in a big heap of trouble. Not only do they need a win to stay in contention, they need to put up points.
Did it not switch the players, or am I crazy?
Oh, sometimes it does that with a weird certificate, but I just refresh and boom, there it goes.
Bang.
Yeah, Austin's in trouble this week. I don't like Amari Cooper at all. Dobbs, I know he's been playing well. He's got a bunch of guys.
148 versus Teddy's 88 last time they played. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing is he's playing Teddy. Sorry, Teddy. But if Teddy plays the right guys, he still has some dudes. Like Devontae popped last week. Looks like he got him in the lineup. He looks like he's starting Aaron Jones again. But no, Austin's in trouble. Austin is in trouble, and Teddy's Should at least put up 100. So who knows if Austin can this week?
I think you guys should force him not to play Aaron Jones. As LMs, be like, dude, just put a different running back in there. For us to beat Austin, please.
He has AJ Dillon.
He's
AJ
good.
Dillon.
Gus Edwards is on a bye.
Give me the account. I'll switch the better player or whoever's playing. I'm just fucking with you.
What
guys.
about Austin with Will Levis? Oh boy, can he play this guy any longer? Will Levis has been absolutely dreadful. The week Austin sits him, he puts up at least 12 points. But the other weeks that Austin plays him, 8, 5, 7. Just absolutely dreadful from the rookie.
I know.
He looks so good his first game too. He put up 26.
You gotta look elsewhere. He ain't CJ Stroud.
Fool's gold. Yep. Fool's gold.
Yeah, it's tough.
But
Pickett
Austin's
looked
in
better
trouble.
than maybe. Like Pickett did, I was watching Pickett today. I'm like, or the other day. I'm like, all right. Maybe.
All right, James, where are we going next?
All right, next matchup. Union Peer Machines, multiple score gas. Machines projected to absolutely whomp on the multiple scoregasms.
Justin Tucker's out, so add another 8 or so to scoregasms. But I think, if A-Chain plays for this one, I think he's gonna be like healthy, just back from a vacation. Like he'll be fresh. I think he might give me some trouble. Maybe he'll put up like a burger or something.
Chuba's playing Tampa, though. Tampa has a good run D. Trevor Lawrence is playing good. I think Lucas should be competitive this week.
You don't think
Like,
that
he should have a competitive team going forward. But Jake's hot as hell. He's just kind of got to play the right flex guy out of whoever he has in the Rolodex. But no, Jack's cruising. Jack's cruising right now. He's in a good spot.
Jack
What do you guys think? Rasheed Rice? Who's in the flex? That's why I just gotta ask you guys.
I like Rashi. I told you
think
last. I was wrong
because it's Lucas's team this week. Possibly just get some more points for if he hits a boom. Or should I just go
downward spiral?
Like a random.
It's really up to you. You could probably be safe.
Devin's been good.
It's up to you. You could probably be safe this match playing Lucas. If you want to go for the boom, you go for the boom.
I
It's
think
really
you're
up
fine.
to you what
Anything
you're
you
looking
play.
for.
Anything you play, you're going to be fine. You got this week. Lucas
I
got
agree.
his two wins. He might get a third this season. I don't think it's going to be against you. But that means that who does Lucas have left? I just got to double check here,
Yeah.
see what his schedule is. Does he have another win on this? Oh, he's playing Danky Punch to end the season. So,
Tougher matchup.
Yeah, Jack, you just got to put up more than 100, and you should be totally fine.
I think you got that. Yeah,
I'm not worried about the win, guys.
His average is 83
I just want
points
to put
a
up
week.
150 every week.
Move on to the next one. It's Jamaican Shamans taking on Bruce. Bruce also needs to figure out a way to get quarterbacks. He has no quarterbacks available this week. Justin Fields and Lamar Jackson out.
He's got to drop Justin Fields, right? He's got to do some. He's in desperation mode here. He's got 2 weeks left.
I think Bruce is confident he's going to win, just sitting the quarterback. Because, look at the last time they played. It's again like the Austin Teddy matchup? 148 to 108.
Bruce could potentially win this week playing no quarterbacks. Would that have to be some record?
Who would be flexing? Be balling like a.
But do you guys really think he's going to drop Fields or Lamar and
I don't think so.
Dude, Russ has a really nice schedule at the end of the year. Russ is solid. He's not Justin Fields. Bruce is kind of desperate. We have two weeks of the season left. You drop Justin Fields to get in the playoffs. It's.
I think the problem though is if Bruce loses, and he gets low points, that's going to be a problem.
Exactly.
For him. If Austin does well or I do well or whatever. But if he wins or if he gets high points but loses, whatever, he'll be fine. Because he's right in the running. were all within like 15 points.
Yeah, he's in desperation mode. I mean, if this is week 7, of course he's gonna just eat this. But I think he needs to fire. And again, you're getting Russ, who's solid. He's a tier 3 quarterback, or whatever. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Bruce does have a fat stack of cash. I think he's got 44 fab bucks, so he can definitely put in.
Oh, I would love it. I would love that. I would love to get Justin Fields if I can. I've been trying to get Bruce.
Oh my god, that would be awful.
I would take the bye week with Fields and run DJ Moore and Justin Fields, and I would be very happy.
Man, that trade with Austin should have traded him for Lamar. I don't know how he didn't get Lamar Jackson for Justin Fields. I know we were all down on him, but unreal how Austin got a good player in Goff out of him, but I don't think Austin still did not get the better of that deal, I think.
It's kind of a wash. I mean, Fields.
It is, because he did lose him for weeks.
Yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
There's no way he would have got Lamar Jackson for him. He was so down when he sold him.
True.
He was like the lowest value.
All right, where are we going next, James?
We're moving on to Team Danky Punch and the Power Walkers.
It's a rivalry match. You know what's funny? I was talking to Danny today, and both of us were like, of course I want to beat you, but like we're both in the playoffs. It just doesn't have as much on it as our previous match. Of course I want to beat him. Of course he wants to beat me. But no, I have a little bit of bye week stuff going on. I got no Devontae, DJ Moore, TJ Hawkinson, so I got to figure out what I'm going to do with my starters.
You got Hopkins, Lockett. Dude, you got the perfect people this line. You usually got no worries.
Out of a flat match, you're saying 99 to 114 is the current projections. Walker's stomped on Danky Punch the week 2 earlier in the season, but both are booked their tickets for the playoffs. This is just like Best Physique of the Week and Social Propaganda. These are 2 matchups between the top 4 teams. It's a top of the table tilt.
And this isn't necessarily my starting lineup. Like, I never set my lineup right away. I just put the highest points, and then I figure it out as I go along. Like, Mostert, like, what do I do with Mostert? With the chain coming back, I mean, Washington's a juicy matchup. I mean, I think I still got to play Mostert. What do you do with Mixon? Like, with no Burrow there?
Yeah, sit Mixon, put in Mostert. Better offense.
And then I got Puka, Hopkins, and Lockett. I think Najee's the lock this week.
I think your lineup is fire right now, unless you don't believe in Najee.
No, Najee's a lock. I got to figure out Hopkins, Lockett, and Puka. And then I got Baker here. We'll see what happens with Baker. Dolphins have been a good pickup, so I like what I'm looking at. And Danny's missing one of his best players, so I think I should be okay. But again, if I lose, I really don't care, because next few weeks, bye weeks are over, and I should be locked and loaded going into the playoffs.
I don't care.
Pretty inconsequential. Just hope your guys don't get hurt and move on.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, Danny's got to rock Zeke. Of course, this is probably a week Zeke will get like a goal line touchdown against me. I mean, does Danny stick with Jake Browning? I mean, what do you guys think?
Nah, he's gonna put in all his fab on Justin Fields.
Jake Browning? You want him to play Jake Browning?
I'm saying, what do you guys think? I would love for him to play Jake Browning. No. I would love, personally, playing against him. I would love for him to play Jake Browning. I mean, you got Stafford's available. There's no way Danny gets Russ. Yeah, I mean, his options are pretty limited here, and somehow he's projected more than, like, you're not playing Pickett, you're not playing Zappi, you're not playing Bryce Young. You could probably play Stafford, but he's going against Cleveland, so that's, wow, Cleveland's been pretty good. So yeah, I don't know what Danny does there, but again, I don't really care too much. I was really hyper focused every week, like really gunning for the #1 spot. Yeah, now that I kind of lost it, I'm like, oh well, focusing on the playoffs. If I get it back, I get it back. But whatever happens, happens.
Absolutely.
We love it, Jeff.
Let's move on to the next matchup. Fibonacci Sequence taking on the Goon Squad. Goon Squad trying to push it in a little further. Might not get past the goal line here. Fibonacci Sequence still also trying to squeak it past the goal line, the biscuit in the basket. Both Fibonacci's a little in trouble here. They got to pull off a win. Do you think they can do it against Goon Squad? Projected 98 to 110.
This is a worst case scenario for Tommy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think he needs the win. He needs confidence, and he needs like a projection differential in his favor in this matchup, and he doesn't have it. And if he drops, he needs to have points for it. And I think Goon Squad can put up a lot, so he's got a couple things he's got to figure out.
Does Tommy drop Dobbs?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Tommy
does he have to go?
dropping people.
Yeah,
Zach Moss is on the
pop.
waiver. How much is Zach Moss?
He has $0 in fab though.
Oh,
So
dude,
He's going
Zach
for 0.
Moss.
I'm putting in my 0 bet right on him right now.
Yeah, Zach Moss. Yeah. Tommy's in a little bit of trouble this week. I mean, Herbert's gonna rebound, so he'll have that. Ramondre should feast. Keenan should feast. I don't know about Thielen. Dobbs obviously isn't playing. Tommy's in a little bit of trouble, but doesn't matter. Tommy hasn't clinched, correct?
Tommy has not clinched yet.
Yeah, so he needs to win this. So
He
a little
needs
bit
to
of trouble, but he is playing the Goon Squad. I know the Goon Squad had a good week last week, but I love Uncle J-Bo, but his team can also put up 70, so maybe
True.
that happens next week as well. Or he
Maybe.
puts up 130. That's kind of Uncle J.
Yeah. Uncle J's so solid.
All right, last matchup, James. Here, let's wrap this guy up here.
All right, let's move in. What's your guys' matchup of the week, though?
Did we go through them all?
Yeah, we did. That's it. What would you say is the match of the week?
I'm just gonna go Zeke versus Propaganda because it's again Goku versus Vegeta. It's just like who's gonna be more powerful and win. No one's gonna die. It's inconsequential. So
Well, that's kind of
be
where
like
I'm not going Danny or I
show.
or James and Zeke because like those, they're all playoff teams. They're in. They're just playing for seeding at this point, which doesn't really matter unless you get the one. That does matter, but then it's tough because you got Tommy grinding, you got Bruce grinding, you got Jack grinding, but playing Lucas. I don't know. I'm really having a hard time picking. I'm probably gonna go Tommy and Uncle J-Bo here, because Tommy needs to get in, and Uncle J-Bo's looking like he's gonna have a solid week. So I think I'm gonna go Tommy, Uncle J-Bo.
I like that pick.
That's actually a good pick. I'm gonna go Sharpfingers, big old titties. Sharpfingers is fighting for his playoff life. Big old titties is not, and he's looking like he's a stronger team. He's just got those running backs that just produce for Teddy, you know. And it could be one of these weeks where it just bites Austin in the butt.
Well, that's what Bruce is probably banking on, right? If he sticks with no quarterbacks, he's probably banking on Austin having a clunker. So I think that's Bruce's logic there, because it's not looking good for Austin this week. Amari Cooper. I mean, I don't know.
Boys, let's before we get into the last bit of the podcast here, which we're already in, a little quick commissioner talk, just to check in. How do you think the year's going here?
It's great. I love the league. It's so fun. Every time it ends, I'm like, oh, man, I'm so down. And then every time it starts up, I'm like, wait, what is this? Every year. I love it.
I'm in 2 other leagues, both standard leagues, and like obviously our league is really fun because it's our friend group and our boys, but just as fun. Just the Superflex and just the way we have it set up. It's just a fun league. Like having someone start Tommy DeVito and Jake Brown. It's just so much fun. It's a blast. So I really got nothing to say. Besides, I think it's going well.
Guys, I love our league. Our league is the greatest. It's so I feel like everybody's in it. all these teams are still, so many teams are still so in it. I mean, even down to Goon Squad, we got 9 teams in it. It's the second to last week of the season. The last week of the season is going to be absolutely nuts because it's going to make or break somebody's year.
Yeah.
And there's something about the
last
competition.
few weeks are going to be crazy for sure.
There's something about the competition in our league. We got a league full of sharps. I've said it before. We got a bunch of knives in the drawer trying to cut up that pineapple. And it's been look at the separations, the minute separations that you have here. 2 of win columns. Look at it. This is absolutely nuts. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have literally almost every number under the sun in wins. It's like hairline. What's the word? Hairline gains. Like no one. The physique is definitely separated himself from sharp fingers because he's got double his score. But like, it's just, this league is just so deep, and even machines are in 6th place fighting for their lives. Fibonacci in 5th place right now might not make the playoffs. It's just our league is absolutely.
I think
insane.
my guess is this is what the playoffs will be. I think Austin's gonna miss out, and Bruce will find his way in. I think Tommy will find his way in. Jack will find his way in, and I think that is the 7.
That's just going off the order of it is right now. I believe you, Jeff. I hope I make the playoffs, but I have a very real chance of also dropping. And then also, I wanted to ask you, James, would you ever believe me in a million years if I told you the bottom 3 teams this year, before the league started, were big old TDs, Jamaican Shamans, and multiple Scoregasms, all who have championships?
Previous champions.
Recently.
Wow.
Crazy league.
That's nuts, Jack. That is nuts. You got all sorts of recent champions down there. Titties, shamans, scoregasms. Wow. I didn't even notice that. That's a great point.
Free for all.
It's not a free for all. It's like the cream rises to the top every year, and every year it's a little bit different cream.
It is.
Yep. All right, boys. I think we wrap this up here. Great show. I should be a fun week here. And
well, I got one last topic for you. These playoff projections. That's it. Right now, it's best physique of the week projected to be first. Get that bye. Fibonacci might be facing off with Danky Punch. Union Peer Machines versus Social Propagandas. That's the current matchup there. I know you're scared there. But I'm scared there too, because you can score too. It's going to be a hell of a slugfest. My name's Bruce, taking on the Power Walkers. Guys, these are the most powerful teams in the leagues, I think, right there.
Man.
I don't want to play Bruce. I don't want to play Jack. Please give me Danny. Please give me Tommy. I don't want. I don't want
know if
those
it finishes
guys.
like this, but in my opinion, guys, these are the 7 most powerful teams in the league, in my opinion. And I don't know if it's going to finish that in that order, but I think all 7 will be there.
Yep.
Listen, the machines were sucking up a fat one earlier this season, so we could return to form. I don't know.
Could falter. Dak could come crashing back to earth.
Well, yeah. I think Dak is actually good. I think I'm worried about the other players.
Guys, and then projected week 15, week 16, week 17. We're almost there. Only a few podcasts left. Thanks for joining us on this one, everybody. Punt that like button. Thanks for joining us here, boys. Any words of wisdom for the week? Jack.
If you made it this far, thank you for listening to the podcast. And hopefully you enjoyed it.
Jeffrey.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Double down. I'm glad I got on. I know it took me a while, but it was fun.
Surprise.
It was fun. Surprise, motherfucker. My quote is this: respect your efforts, respect yourself, and I have a very strict gun control policy.
Okay.
All right, bye everybody.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
Okay,
I'm out of here.
Maybe,
Deuces.
if you want to guarantee,
Deuces.
buy a toaster. We boil at different degrees. All right, everybody. I'm trying to be reasonable. I tried being reasonable. I didn't like it. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. All right, boys. Have a great one, everybody. Good luck in week 13.